Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, I have had a busy Tuesday here in my world, but it's been a good Tuesday. Just gone by kind of fast, getting work done. Went to the gym this morning. I'm slowly easing back into that exercising thing, and almost day slipped away, and I said, man, I need to do a video. So today I want to talk about reason for eating raw food diet my way. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button so you can come back and check out some more of my content. You know what, and before I even get started, let me just say right here, right now, listen closely. Listening comprehension and reading comprehension isn't what it used to be. This isn't a video me telling you this is the way for you to eat or how you should eat. In fact, I'm totally against that kind of thing, and that's going to be part of the video, is discouraging you from listening so much to other people and not trusting yourself as a source. At least not trusting yourself as kind of the gatekeeper for the information that's coming in. I see this with so many people out there, and they're just kind of spinning. Their head is spinning, and they're question, and you know, because they're listening to everybody, every little voice that pops up, they're listening to. Oh, but this person said this person said that. Number one, I never pay attention to unsolicited advice. Sometimes I just go peep other people's videos just to see what the comments are and what people are talking about in there. And you know what? I'm different than these other YouTubers. They'll do it 100 times over. If somebody comes in and challenges how they're eating or whatever, excuse me, I almost kicked my camera over. If somebody comes in and challenges them, they will go and they will answer every challenge. To me, I don't have any stake if you eat a raw food diet or not. I'm not getting paid by the raw food Illuminati to convert people over. So like I say, I just kind of show what I do. You take from it what you will, but I never pay attention to unsolicited advice, and I'm never going to. That doesn't mean I don't pay attention to advice. I'm just saying that I control what is coming in, what information, the flow of information that's coming in. And I've never from day one seen any usefulness in just all this random, oh, well, somebody said this in this Facebook group. Hey, so-and-so said, I get this all the time. I'm like, I don't have any thoughts on it. You know, I heard somebody say this in this Facebook group. What are your thoughts on it? I don't really have any thoughts on it. I do my thing. You know, I'm not worried about what they're saying over in this group. I'm not worried about what this YouTuber says. I'm not worried about what this expert says. I have my process. And I would highly encourage you, that's the part I would say, is to take parts of my process, or just the mentality when you're making decisions as to what you put into your body. Because there's too much noise out there. If you're just like randomly listening and just going through videos and you don't have any filters on and you're not discerning what you're taking in, there's good talkers out there. I'm not the best talker in the world. I've told you guys before, I can't, oh my God, I'd own the world. If I could memorize, if I could keep facts in my head and be able to spit like statistics and particulars and stuff out there, because there's a lot of good talkers out there. And just because somebody talks good and they've got a lot of scientific information doesn't necessarily make them right. So don't get impressed with this, oh, well, wow, he sounds like he knows what he's doing. There's a lot of people that sound like they know what they're doing. But for every person that says black, and they can give you all these reasons, and they can, you know, talk about it for hours and hours and hours, there's somebody over here, black, white, diametrically opposed, that can make their case just as intelligently as the person over here, and they may be saying absolutely the opposite of each other. So who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? That's why I've always preferred, I do my research and I can take in, I go through the sources. There are people that give me recommendations and then I look into things, but I can go through it at my pace. There's not all this noise. There's not all this back and forth. There's not all this arguing and confusion and whatever out there. And that's what makes a lot of social media and a lot of YouTube kind of useless, because that's just, that gets into emotions and that gets into ego there. As soon as you get into one of these into some sort of a discussion, people start, well, I'm the one that's right. And you just got a lot of too much information coming at you. So I've gone how I feel since day one. Now, not 100%, and that sounds like some woo-woo advice right there. I'm always evolving. Since day one, my way of eating, my way of looking at things, my way of processing has been evolving and in the beginning, what I'm about to say here is, sometimes that sounds kind of woo-woo when you say, oh, just go by how you feel. Well, I don't mean that 100%. That has to be tempered with learning as well, and study and doing some research on your own. I don't recommend anyway just start eating and be like, I feel good, so that's it, without any education in there. Now, as you do this after a while, the education, you don't get as much of the education, or you don't need to be constantly reading and studying anymore, or like trying things out, because you've been able to apply it. You see how it feels. And sometimes I can be a little bit of a worrywart. I still like to do some of my research because, I want to make sure about those things that I could be missing on this lifestyle. I don't want to, that'd be bad. That'd be bad. You're cruising along feeling great for like 10 years, and all of a sudden, boom, something goes wrong, and you look back and you're like, yeah, I needed to be getting some of this in all along, and this didn't necessarily affect me on a day-to-day basis over the past 8-10 years, but you missed out on something from a cumulative standpoint. So I do continuously look, research, read to make sure I'm getting everything I need, but the bottom line is it comes from how I feel. And I can't go against how I feel. It's like, that's what goes back to like not taking unsolicited advice. I feel good every day. I have energy every day. I have good digestion. I haven't had, knock on wood, this is the kiss of death, I haven't even had a cold in ages. My immune system feels strong. One thing I like to take as an indication of your health, how healthy you are, so I've got good strong nails and hair, so I feel good. I've got a bounce in my step. Everything feels right. So just playing devil's advocate, why would anything anybody said make me change the way I'm doing it right now? And once again, don't make these huge leaps like all or nothing. Like, yes, somebody might say something that triggers something, and it might be somebody that I respect their opinion enough to look into it, and I might find something, a small tweak. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll still make some tweaks, but I'm not going to because somebody says, well, this is wrong, and this is not this, and this is, you're not getting this, and this and that. What, I'm going to all of a sudden, just because of somebody saying that, or me hearing that random person, their thoughts on this were, I'm going to change how I'm eating? No. Listen, this lifestyle works for me. It works for me so far. That's what I will say. As long as I continue feeling good, and as long as I continue feeling active and feeling, that I can do things at my age that a lot of people can't. And that doesn't by any chance mean there's athletes out there. There's people older than me that run marathons. So I don't mean that as like, ooh, I'm some sort of a Superman. I'm just like, but I noticed that a lot of, and it's not just the area I'm in. I've been in different areas, where I'm around people in their 50s, late 50s, mid 50s, 60, and they're old. They're old, and I'm like, like I say, I'm no spring chicken, and I'm not going to go out and run a marathon. I can't bench 300 plus pounds anymore, but I can do the things that I see a lot of these people not being able to do. Most of these people, a lot of people I know can't get down on the floor and play. They could not get down on the floor, hop right back up. I could get on the floor, hop back up, get down on the floor, hop back up over and over and over, pretty much like a child. And I don't have creaking knees, and I don't have this ache and that ache. In other words, I'm just feel like I'm a good, healthy person at my age. And that's really all I'm looking for. I'm at an age in my life where I'm not looking to be super athlete. I'm not looking to, do some sort of a heavy sport. As I'm feeling better, I am getting more physical, and I do like to move my body, and I would even like to get a little bit further and get back to challenging my body a little bit more. The reason I've meant, for anybody that hadn't watched me before, I had this little condition, chondrocostal junction syndrome, in my rib cage that has just kind of limited my not necessarily limited my movement, but it gave me inflammation and stiffness in my rib cage here. So for the past almost year, up until a couple of weeks ago, I haven't been exercising. But from everything I've read about this thing, it's just kind of a tricky little condition. It has nothing to do with health. Like, there's no correlation. Like, well, you weren't getting enough of this, you weren't getting enough of that. So otherwise, before this kind of flared up on me last year, I went to the gym pretty much every day. I went out and walked, tons and tons and tons. I want to get back to my yoga practice, but that's another thing, and I'll finish it on this, is the way I eat, the diet, the lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, that I follow, just basically gives me what I need to live the life that I want to. That's it right there. So the takeaway on all this is not eat like Jack, be like Jack. God forbid, I would never tell anybody that. But the takeaway on this is take responsibility. How many times have I used that word on this channel? Take responsibility for yourself. Tune out all that drama and all that noise, and quit asking 1,000 questions and, acting like you're desperate. Oh, am I going to get enough of this? Oh, can you please tell me, what are your... Slow down, take a breath, and go through the information at your pace. Like, that's why I always want to tell people, even if it's online. I mean, you might be reading something on a website. Read. Don't listen to all these voices. Don't take every bit of your information from social media. Do some concentrated searching for different issues that you're interested in. If you're worried about something, go to Google. Go to Google and type in your question. Go to YouTube, type in your question. That's my whole process right there. Anytime I want to learn something new, anytime I want to know something, get some new information, I go to Google and I go to YouTube. And I read a good number of things on Google, and I watch several videos on YouTube. I try to get contrasting viewpoints, and then I make my decision. But it's a process. It's not just kind of just hanging on every day. Oh, let me try this today, let me try that tomorrow. This person said this person said that. So anyhow, everybody can do what I do. I'm not an educator, I'm not a leader, I'm not a guru. I'm just trying to show a process in life. Basically, just do your own thing, figure things out more so on your own, and use resources, how in a better way to get in this information. So anyhow, hope that wasn't too rambling today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.